All right, let's talk about LabWork 6. All right, let's start with number 1. All right, so number 1 is multiplying with exponents. We have 4x to the 6, y to the 5th, all raised to the 3rd power. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. And then we have x to the 8th, y squared, all raised to the negative 4 power. All right, so I always describe to you the 3 steps, right? Distribute, move, then to simplify. So I want to have 4 raised to the 3rd power, the x to the 6 raised to the 3rd power, the y to the 5th raised to the 3rd power, the x to the 8th raised to the negative 4th power, the y squared raised to the negative 4th power. Okay? And I'm not sure what's going on with my pen. So let's see if this keeps on going or not. All right, so now I got finished distributing here. So I have 4 to the 3rd, x to the 18th, I have y to the 15th, I have x to the negative 32nd, and y to the negative 8th. Okay, so that's my distributing, and it looks a little bit sideways here. So let me get this back to somewhat normal. There we go. All right, so now I got to move. So let's take these. Wow. Okay, so this is gonna give me a fraction there. So what I have here, so I gotta ask myself, does a 4 like me on top? Yes. Does an x like me on top? Yes. Does a y like me on top? Yes. Okay. Does x like me on the top? No. Does y like me on top? No. And the reason why I keep on calling this a top is because this is really over 1 because there has been a denominator yet. So that's why I keep on calling them the top. So what do I have here? Now what I have is now I can simplify, right? So I've moved, now I can simplify. So 4 to the 3rd power is 64. I have 18 x's on top, 32 x's on the bottom. So what I'm going to have now, if I can get a straight line, is I'm going to have 12 x's left. 14 x's left on the bottom. And then on top, and with the y, I have 15 y's on top, 8 y's on the bottom, so I'm going to have 7 left on top. So that would be my answer, and that is choice number C. There we go. Right. Perfect. All right. So let's get to number 2. All right, number 2, same idea. I have 12x to the negative 4, z to the positive 4, all over 3x z to the negative 4, all being raised to the negative 2 power. All right. Well, let's get everything to be distributed to the negative 2 power. So the first thing to do is distribute, right? So this is going to equal to so I'm going to have 12 raised to the negative 2. I'm going to have x to the negative 4 raised to the negative 2. And then I'm going to have z to the 4th raised to the negative 2 over 3 to the negative 2. I have x raised to the negative 2. And then I have z to the negative 4 raised to the negative 2. Okay, so that's what I have. So let me finish this up. So what I will have is, here we go. I have 12 to the negative 2. I got x to the positive 8. I got z to the negative 8. I have 3 to the negative 2. I have x to the negative 2. And I have z to the positive 8. Now let's move. If I was to move these, then I would say, okay, does 12 like being on top? No. Then does 8? Yes. I mean, does x to the 8th? Yes. Does z to the negative 8? No. All right, now the bottom. Does 3 like being on the bottom? No. Does x like being on the bottom? No. And does z to the 8th like being on the bottom? Yes. Now we can simplify, okay? So if I was to look at just the top right now, or just the variables, I should say, I have the x to the 10th and a z to the 16th on the bottom. But I got to deal with the 3 squared and the 12 squared. So you guys could use it as a 9 over 144 and reduce that if you want to. I like to look at it a different way. I like to look at it as 3 squared is 3 times 3. 12 squared is 12 times 12. And I can reduce these, right? 3 goes into 12 4 times. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So that means what I'll have is x to the 10th on top, but the bottom is going to be that 4 times 4, which is 16, then z to the 16th, all right? And that is choice, looks like C to me. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, on to number 3. Okay, number 3 says 8x squared minus xy minus y squared plus x squared plus 9xy plus 12y squared. Okay, so since this is adding, it's nice and easy. I just basically just stack the 2 together here. So what I would do is take the 1 here, 8x squared minus xy minus y squared. And since the second parentheses is I'm adding it, so I'm just going to stack it along the bottom. The x squared under the x squared, the 9xy under the xy, and the plus 12y squared under the y squared. Then I can just add them vertically. And when I add them vertically, what do I get? I get 9x squared plus 8xy plus 11y squared. And that is all it is, and that's choice C. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's see, number 4. That should fit in here. All right. right, so number 4 asks you to find this. 9x plus 4y quantity squared. Well, what this means is it is going to be nine x plus 4y times 9x plus 4y. So that means I'm going to have a 9x times 9x plus 4y, and then plus 4y times the 9x plus 4y. So I'm double distributing. I have to. So that means I'm going to get an 81x squared plus 36xy plus 36xy plus 16y squared. So that's going to equal to 81x squared plus 72xy plus 16y squared. And that is choice number C. There we go. Let me do this really quick. Uh-oh. Not what I was trying to do. Not bad. Not bad. Now I can do it. Excellent. There we go. All right. Number 5. Halfway already. All right. So now we're going to factor these polynomials. I got 10z squared minus 35z minus 20. Okay. So here I have a GCF, and the GCF is a 5. And what I would have left if I pull a 5 is a 2z squared minus 7z minus 4. Well, my a times c is equal to negative 8. My b is equal to negative 7. So my two numbers are going to be, let me see, negative 8 and 1, because negative 8 times 1 gives me negative 8. Negative 8 plus 1 gives me negative 7. So the GCF stays right there. And what I'm going to do is split the middle term with these two things here. So I have 2z squared minus 8z. Let me see here, plus 1z, then minus 4. Okay. So I now got 4 terms to split down the middle. My GCF in the first group is a 2z, leaving me with a z minus 4. And my GCF of the second group is just a plain old 1. There's nothing else to take out, so it's going to be z minus 4 as well, with that 5 still outside. Okay, so I still have the 5 here. What do I have in common? The z minus 4. What do I have left? The 2z plus 1. And that would be my factor completely, and that would be choice, it looks like B. Boom. And boom. All right. That was number 5. On to number 6. Okay, number 6. Same thing. Factor the polynomial. I got 10x squared minus 20. I have a GCF here of a 10. If I pull a 10 out, what do I have? I got x squared minus 2. So what I have left right here is a binomial. So I ask myself, is it the difference? It is the difference of two perfect squares. That's a perfect square, but that is not, right? So therefore, I am done. I cannot do any of it. So therefore, that is my answer. And that is choice A. And that is choice A. There we go. All right. On to number 7. Okay, 7 I have 8. X squared y minus 98y. So my first step is GCF. And I do have a GCF, and that GCF is A. And that GCF is a, let's say, 2y. So I have left an 4x squared minus 49. Okay? So, with that being said, the 2y stays. But if we look at this right here, that is a perfect square. The 4 is a perfect square. The x squared is a perfect square. And the 49 is a perfect square. So I do have the difference of two perfect squares. So that does work. All right, so what does that break up to be? Well, what times what gives you 4x squared? That'd be, or 2x and a 2x. What times what gives you 49? 7 and 7, plus and minus. And that is done. And that is going to be choice A. There we go. Right. There it goes. All right. Number 8. All right. Number 8, we have x times 3x plus 13 is equal to 10. So because it's equal to 10, not equal to 0, I actually have to go ahead and distribute the left side and get everything to one side. So I'm going to have to distribute this. So I'm going to have a 3x squared plus a 13x is equal to 10. Then I'm going to get everything to one side. So I got 3x squared plus 13x minus 10 equals 0. Because again, what I have to do is get this into standard form, right? Which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, meaning that I have a 0 side, okay? And a non-zero side. So that's the part that's important here. Got it? All right. So now that I got everything to one side, I have to factor the left side. So if I have to factor the left side, and I look at that, I have a times c is equal to negative 30. My b is equal to positive 13. So the question is, what's my two numbers that I need to multiply together to give you negative 30, but add together to give you a positive 13. So that answer is going to be a negative 2 and a positive 15. So if you add those two, you get negative 30. If you multiply those two, you get negative 30. If you add those two, you get positive 13. Okay? So now we're going to come over here and split the middle term. So I got 3x squared minus 2x plus 15x minus 10 equal to 0. Okay, so if you notice, that negative 2 came here, and that 15 came right there. Okay, so that's what we're using to split this term in the middle here. Okay, all right. So, split it down the middle. And my GCF on the left is an x, leaving me with a 3x minus 2. The GCF on the right is a 5, leaving me with a 3x minus 2. That's still equal to 0. All right, so what do I have here? I have... Let's do it this way. So what I'll have here is... what's in common? 3x minus 2. What do I have left? An x plus 5, and that's going to equal to 0. So that means I'm going to have x is going to equal to 2/3, and x is going to equal to negative 5. So with that being said, that is going to be choice A. So therefore, there's my answer right there. All right, there we go. Number 9. Okay, number 9. 3x squared plus 4x squared equals 48x plus 64. So same idea. I see an equal sign and I see, powers greater than 1. So I see the equal sign and I see, either the cube or the square. I got to think quadratic equation, which I have a standard form right there. That means I have to get everything to one side, so I have a 0 side, right? So that's what I'm going to have to do. So, all right. So that means what I'm going to have to deal with is this. It's going to be 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 48x minus 64 is equal to 0. I have 4 terms, so that means I got to split it down the middle. My GCF on the first group is an x squared, leaving me with a 3x plus 4. Since my third term is a negative, I have to pull out a negative. And the question is, what am I pulling out negative of? How about 16? Because if I pull a negative 16, then I'm going to get a 3x plus 4. All right. So what do I have in common? What do I have left? And that's going to equal to 0. But I'm not done factoring, because if you notice, I have a binomial with a square term in it. So that is not done. That's actually going to break down, because that's the difference of 2 squares, as x plus 4 and x minus 4. And don't forget, the one with the largest power tells you how many possible solutions there could be. So now, from that being said, I have x is equal to negative 4/3, x is equal to negative 4, and x is equal to 4. And that would be my answers. And that would be Bitwell. Oh, never mind. I almost didn't see the negative. That's going to be choice A. I thought I didn't see that negative 4/3 there. There we go. There we go. All right. So on to number 10. Oh, man. It's okay. All right. So 10. Instead of trying to squeeze it into that little tiny square there, let's go ahead and do it. All right. So number 10. What this is showing is 2 squares. Okay. So we have a big square. Okay, I guess I'm calling that square. And a small square. Okay. And we'll call that as close. There we go. We'll call that. So if you notice that the label here is y and y and 5 and 5. Okay. And the shaded area is in this area here. And I want to find the shaded area. Okay. So if that's the case, basically, so area shaded is equal to area large minus area small, right? Because essentially I'm just going to cut out that little tiny square. I guess I should probably have selected this and made this red. Okay, so let's take a look. So the large area, an area of a square is base times height or length times width. So the larger area is really y times y, or y squared. And the smaller area is going to be 5 times 5, or 25. So yes, that is correct. The area of the shaded is going to equal to y squared minus 25. Well, I can factor that. Well, that's going to equal to y minus 5 and y plus 5, because that is the difference of two squares. So that is going to be choice D. And there we go. Right. So there you guys go. All 10 problems in LabWork 6. If you have any questions, let